Welcome to Switzerland. Did you know that our country is not just a great place to visit, but also your first-class business location? We are centrally located in Europe and we have the world's best infrastructure. Oh, and the train is always on time, so let's take a journey. Did you know that Switzerland has 4 official languages? Ja? No? Forse? Decidia? Don't worry, we also have excellent English skills. However, we don't spend all day chatting. We love to work. In 2012, we could have voted for longer holidays, and we voted against them. It's crazy, isn't it? But we're not crazy. Our economy and government are among the world's most stable. That, combined with our outstanding talent pool and a deregulated labor market, makes Switzerland the most innovative and competitive nation in the world. Our Swiss dual education system provides an excellent mix of both vocational education and apprenticeships. Now let's take a look at industry. Maybe Germany, the United States, and China are well known for their industrial output. But did you know that Swiss industrial production per capita beats all of them? Sorry, guys. Our country is small, but hey, 3 Swiss companies are among the global top 20 most valuable companies. Furthermore, we offer the best quality of life. That's why 3 Swiss cities are among the world's best for the highest quality of living. In addition, Switzerland is one of the happiest nations on the globe. Perhaps because we eat on average 12 kilograms of chocolate per year? Switzerland is the best location for innovation, has stable political, economic, and financial conditions, has the highest living standard, and welcomes your business. So tell us now, when will you invest in Switzerland? Switzerland Global Enterprise, enabling new business. Find out more at s-ge.com.
For us in the Aditya Birla Group, Odisha has been one of our most preferred investment destinations. Chief Minister Shri Naveen Patnaik's exceptional leadership has been the singular factor in the rapid progress of Odisha. The state government has leveraged its competitive advantages, including its progressive policies and governance framework, are a big pull factor.
Welcome you to Odisha. Come, join the juggernaut.
In healthcare, a vast ecosystem is helping therapy innovators become more patient-centric and more effective than ever before. Cytiva supports researchers, biopharma, and clinicians in the pursuit of more targeted treatments. In discovery, speed and accuracy are everything. The faster and smarter researchers can work, the more patients benefit. To ensure that new, more targeted therapies become reality, we're equipping biomanufacturers with the tools and expertise they need to produce cost-effectively and quickly. How can tens of thousands of individualized patient doses be manufactured quickly, efficiently, and securely? The answer, with a healthy dose of expertise and innovation. We're creating processes and solutions that are scalable and address complex needs. We work to deliver diagnostic tools and other technologies to bring the right therapy to the right patient at the right time, so that life-saving medicines come within the reach of more people and could save more lives. Cell culture, protein purification, biomarker imaging, and analysis. It may not be what most think about when envisioning the future of healthcare, but this is what we do. Our part in changing the world. Advancing and accelerating. Discovery, manufacturing, diagnostics, future therapeutics.
The road to regulatory compliance is long and filled with choices. With a combination of standards, process, and service, USP can help guide your path to compliant, quality products. Trust the standard that sets the benchmark for medicines. Our robust and collaborative scientific process is part of our comprehensive approach. We offer reference standards that are tied to USP monographs to help you minimize risk and enhance your confidence in compliance. Reduce time and resources spent developing in-house standards and streamline your path to regulatory compliance. We work with independent, volunteer scientific experts who rigorously review and approve our standards, which undergo testing by USP and other laboratories around the world. Ongoing testing of our standards helps ensure the quality of your product over time. And only USP reference standards are linked to official USP NF monographs that provide specifications for the identity, purity, and potency to meet FDA requirements without further in-house qualification and the needs of our global customers. With USP, you have access to our in-house scientific experts to guide you every step of the way. In addition to our best-in-class USP reference standards, we offer training, education, and other services. Our online resources help smooth your path to regulatory compliance. Our standards provide precise testing and validation guidelines, as well as reference samples for testing. Drugs can be made consistently every time. We are more than reference standards. We provide a unique combination of standards, process, and service. From buying to applying standards, we support your bottom line with reference standards that have been rated best in class by our customers. Talk with us to find out how we can help you navigate your journey to regulatory compliance. Contact USP at usp.org.
Welcome to Switzerland. Did you know that our country is not just a great place to visit, but also your first-class business location? We are centrally located in Europe, and we have the world's best infrastructure. Oh, and the train is always on time, so let's take a journey. Did you know that Switzerland has 4 official languages? Ja? No? Forse? Decidia? Don't worry, we also have excellent English skills. However, we don't spend all day chatting. We love to work. In 2012, we could have voted for longer holidays, and we voted against them. It's crazy, isn't it? But we're not crazy. Our economy and government are among the world's most stable. That, combined with our outstanding talent pool and a deregulated labor market, makes Switzerland the most innovative and competitive nation in the world. Our Swiss dual education system provides an excellent mix of both vocational education and apprenticeships. Now let's take a look at industry. Maybe Germany, the United States, and China are well known for their industrial output. But did you know that Swiss industrial production per capita beats all of them? Sorry, guys. Our country is small, but hey, 3 Swiss companies are among the global top 20 most valuable companies. Furthermore, we offer the best quality of life. That's why 3 Swiss cities are among the world's best for the highest quality of living. In addition, Switzerland is one of the happiest nations on the globe. Perhaps because we eat on average 12 kilograms of chocolate per year? Switzerland is the best location for innovation, has stable political, economic, and financial conditions, has the highest living standard, and welcomes your business. So tell us now, when will you invest in Switzerland? Switzerland Global Enterprise, enabling new business. Find out more at s-ge.com.
For us in the Aditya Birla Group, Odisha has been one of our most preferred investment destinations. Chief Minister Shri Naveen Patnaik's exceptional leadership has been the singular factor in the rapid progress of Odisha.
I welcome you to Odisha. Come, join the Juggernaut.
In healthcare, a vast ecosystem is helping therapy innovators become more patient-centric and more effective than ever before. Cytiva supports researchers, biopharma, and clinicians in the pursuit of more targeted treatments. In discovery, speed and accuracy are everything. The faster and smarter researchers can work, the more patients benefit. To ensure that new, more targeted therapies become reality, we're equipping biomanufacturers with the tools and expertise they need to produce cost-effectively and quickly. How can tens of thousands of individualized patient doses be manufactured quickly, efficiently, and securely? The answer, with a healthy dose of expertise and innovation. We're creating processes and solutions that are scalable and address complex needs. We work to deliver diagnostic tools and other technologies to bring the right therapy to the right patient at the right time, so that life-saving medicines come within the reach of more people and could save more lives. Cell culture, protein purification, biomarker imaging, and analysis. It may not be what most think about when envisioning the future of healthcare, but this is what we do. Our part in changing the world. Advancing and accelerating. Discovery, manufacturing, diagnostics, future therapeutics.
To regulatory compliance is long and filled with choices. With a combination of standards, process, and service, USP can help guide your path to compliant, quality products. Trust the standard that sets the benchmark for medicines. Our robust and collaborative scientific process is part of our comprehensive approach. We offer reference standards that are tied to USP monographs to help you minimize risk and enhance your confidence in compliance. Reduce time and resources spent developing in-house standards and streamline your path to regulatory compliance. We work with independent, volunteer scientific experts who rigorously review and approve our standards, which undergo testing by USP and other laboratories around the world. Ongoing testing of our standards helps ensure the quality of your product over time. and only USP reference standards are linked to official USP NF monographs that provide specifications for the identity, purity, and potency to meet FDA requirements without further in-house qualification and the needs of our global customers. With USP, you have access to our in-house scientific experts to guide you every step of the way. In addition to our best-in-class USP reference standards, we offer training, education, and other services. Our online resources help smooth your path to regulatory compliance. Our standards provide precise testing and validation guidelines, as well as reference samples for testing. Drugs can be made consistently every time. We are more than reference standards. We provide a unique combination of standards, process, and service. From buying to applying standards, we support your bottom line with reference standards that have been rated best in class by our customers. Talk with us to find out how we can help you navigate your journey to regulatory compliance. Contact USP at usp.org.
Okay, I'll have a countdown. Hello, Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the second edition of Global Bio India 2021. We are now currently, we'll begin the session on the enhancing capacities in MedTech ecosystem. While on this discussion topic, I would just like to give a very brief introduction that this is a panel discussion of the representatives of the facilities and the medical device development that have been supported under the National Biopharma Mission. It is a mission jointly funded by the World Bank and the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India for a 5-year period. And we have two eminent moderators who will lead us through this session. Professor B. Ravi from IIT Bombay and Dr. Premnath from Venture Center, Pune. But before we go into the details of the discussion panel and the topics, may I please welcome Dr. Kalaivani Ganeshan from Department of Biotechnology, Scientist E, to please give some introductory remarks and a welcome note to all the participants. Dr. Kalaivani.
Welcome everyone to the Global Bio India 2021. It's a pleasure to be here. The Department of Biotechnology has laid a robust foundation for the MedTech ecosystem in the country. As we are all aware, the sector is import-driven and dominated by multinational players. In the year 2008, DBT wanted to promote the indigenous MedTech innovators and entrepreneurs. So it launched the National Biodesign Program at that time. So there was one center that was established, and today we have 200 entrepreneurs trained, more than 50 products developed, and about 20 successful startups formed through this initiative. As you're all aware, there are a number of funding schemes available between BIRAC and other agencies for the startups, but this remains the only scheme that provides the MedTech training, the experiential training into entrepreneurship. So realizing this importance under the guidance of Professor Ravi, who is here with us today, we have now expanded this to another 6 centers in the country in the current year. So we hope to train at least 100 innovators in a year's time. Another landmark initiative of the department that I would like to highlight here is the Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone to promote indigenous manufacturing. Dr. Dilip is with us today. So DBT supported establishment of the Critical Component Research Center, Kalam Institute of Health Technology in the Andhra MedTech Zone. Today, AMTZ stands as a classic example of a successful MedTech venture in the country. And with all your support, and we hope DBT and BIRAC hopes to do lots with the stakeholder to promote the indigenous manufacturing and innovation in the MedTech industry. Thank you. Hardeep, unmute.
I'm sorry, old habit. So Dr. Kalaivani, thank you very much for giving us a background of the activities that have been undertaken by DBT in this regard of establishing a MedTech ecosystem within the country. May I now give a short background on the reason that we have all assembled on the panel discussion. So as I mentioned earlier, that this is a congregation of the representatives of facilities that have been supported under the National Biopharma Mission. It is a mission program of the Department of Biotechnology with the support of the World Bank for a $250 million grant over a 5-year period. Under this mission, we have helped establish medical technology or MedTech facilities across the country to cater to the increasing demand of quality indigenous medical devices. 4 prototyping facilities have been supported for development of early stage prototypes of medical devices for various applications and using different materials, while 3 test facilities will help in vitro and in vivo testing of medical devices. 2 manufacturing facilities and scale-up facilities have also been supported primarily to help in the fight against COVID pandemic, but they're equipped to support the overall medical device ecosystem within the country. Some of these facilities are now functional and accessible to researchers, startups, and large companies or manufacturers developing medical devices across the country to help advance their product development. We will now play a short video that will provide a snapshot of the different facilities supported under the mission, the services that they offer, and some of the products that have been developed from these facilities. May I request the CII team to please play the video? So under the MedTech facilities supported under NBM, the first of the 4 prototyping facilities is at C-Camp Bangalore, which specializes in different areas of microfluidics related medical devices. They provide services such as designing of devices, photolithography, PDMS fabrication, 3D printing, etc. The Marathwada MedTech Lab, funded by under the National Netra Accelerator Foundation located at Aurangabad, has established a prototyping facility. They provide services such as 3D printing, CNC milling, and subtractive manufacturing, primarily working in the areas of electronics-based medical devices and wearable medical devices. Some of the products that have come out of this facility are now visible on the video. They also provide mold making services, which can be accessed for different medical device applications for a mass scale manufacturing. The NFIR Technology Incubator located at Mangalore within the campus of the NFIR deemed university houses the MedTech Design and Rapid Prototyping Facility. And they provide different kinds of services, such as PCB prototyping, rapid prototyping using 3D printing, and also bioprinting, specifically related in the area of dental applications. IIT Kanpur houses the 4th MedTech facility for prototyping. This lab specializes in development of medical devices related to hospital equipment, guidance systems for the blind, and different types of PPEs. All these products have come out from this laboratory. IIT Kanpur also houses the EMI-EMC Electrical Safety Testing Laboratory for testing of all types of medical devices, which include electronic components. This facility is currently under development. Along with IIT Kanpur, Samir at IIT Mumbai and Powai campuses would also provide services in the area of EMI-EMC and electrical safety testing. Both these facilities provide services of electromagnetic compatibility and interference studies. Palamur Bioscience is located at Hyderabad, is a medical device testing facility for large animal studies on the swine model. It's a facility equipped with advanced animal testing equipment and interventional medical device testing, which include animal cath labs, OTs, C-arm and OCT, the optical coherence tomography equipments, advanced animal storage facility for swine models, and other related testing for drugs and devices in the area of cardiology, neurology, and orthopedics. So let's take a journey. Human Life Sciences has been funded as a manufacturing and scale-up facility for diagnostic kits development. The major products that are supported for development at this facility include fluorescently labeled probes and primers for real-time PCR and RT-LAMP assays, and scale-up production for enzymes that may be used in the molecular diagnostics assays. Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone, as we heard from Dr. Kalaivani, has been established under the aegis of the Department of Biotechnology. They already house different facilities for additive manufacturing and 3D printing, for biomaterial testing, and EMI/EMC testing. Under the National Biopharma Mission, they have been supported for scale-up and manufacturing of diagnostic devices and tests such as molecular diagnostic assays and ventilator manufacturing. They currently have a production capacity of 60,000 units of ventilators per year. So this was a brief snapshot of the facilities that have been supported and the types of services that they have begun to initiate at an early stage. And may I now invite the moderators for the session to initiate the panel discussion. Before I invite them, I would like to give a brief introduction to both our moderators. Professor B. Ravi is an Institute Chair Professor of Mechanical Engineering at IIT Bombay. He heads the Biomedical Engineering and Technology Innovation Center at BETIC, as well as the Desai Sethi School of Entrepreneurship. The BETIC team, under his guidance, has developed more than 50 novel medical devices, currently incubates 15 startup companies, and has licensed a few products to different industries. Dr. Premnath, who will be co-moderating along with Professor Ravi, is a well-known persona in the area of medical devices in the country. Professor Premnath is currently Chief Scientist and Head NCL Innovations at CSIR National Chemical Laboratory and Director of Venture Center in Pune. He specializes in biomedical technology development, innovation management, business incubation, and scientific leadership. Professor Ravi and Dr. Premnath, welcome to this panel discussion. Over to you to initiate the discussion, please.
Thank you, Dr. Hardik. Am I loud and clear?
Yep.
Yes, yeah. Sir, very clear.
Thank you very much. So let me first of all thank all the organizers, including BIRAC, CII, and thanks to Dr. Kalaivani for representing DPT here, and thanks to you for representing BIRAC. I'm very happy to be here along with all the other panelists, experts, and also welcome all those who are joined us either through WebEx or through the streaming channels. I'll just make a few opening comments, but before that, let me just set the whole timing down. So this session is from 4 o'clock to 5:30. And I think we have had now introductory remarks and the video, which gave a glimpse of the facilities at the various institutions. That was about 15 minutes. The next 45 minutes or so, after we finish the opening remarks, we'll be inviting the panelists one by one to kind of give a quick overview of what they have and what they have done with that. And after that, we want to reserve at least the last 20 minutes to half an hour in opening the questions to the audience to see whether any facilities that they think are required are not in this list, or maybe could be brought up in the country. So that's how the thing is. I think the structure of the event is. I would like to start by saying that I think the time has come for India to become really Atmanirbhar is really the word which is appropriate in this context, to become self-dependent, as well as some of the countries, the neighborhood countries, look up to India to show them the path for affordable healthcare. The devices that we import today, out of about 50,000 crores that we need, almost 80% is what is said is imported now from Western countries. And these are highly expensive, not affordable to the general public. So there's no doubt in our minds that India has to now accelerate like nobody's business. We have to really go very fast in developing indigenous, novel, affordable devices which are suitable for our own population, our requirements, and so on. So in this context, we typically talk about the values of death, from research concepts to prototypes in innovation centers, like we talk about, to products which can be tested and finally given to market. So this whole pathway where you have the scientists and innovators and entrepreneurs and regular industry, not to mention investors also in the picture. It's a hard journey, and innovation is hard. MedTech innovation is even more hard. Having said that, I think we are seeing a great amount of activity and great collaborations. And I'm not saying this for the sake of saying, we are truly seeing great collaborations between government, academia, industry, and investors are now also getting into the picture. BIRAC in this context also has laid down what is called as the TRL or technology readiness levels for various partners to do their work. Typically, it starts from TRL 1, which is for need definition, where people get into market, look at what is required, need identification, and so on. And then you have TRL2, which is typically ideation or concept design, the basic ideation of the product. And then TRL3, where you build a proof of concept, basic components just to demonstrate how it's going to work like at a lab level. And then you have TRL4, which is functional prototype, which is actually usable and maybe even testable to some extent. And then you have TRL5, which is laboratory testing, TRL6, which is initial field testing, TRL7, which is detailed field testing. That is, we're talking about human clinical trials. And then finally, TRL8, which is start of production, and TRL9, which is market launch. So these TRLs 1 to 9 have to be traversed by the MedTech innovators, whether themselves or in collaboration with partners. And here is where the role of the facilities comes and becomes very important, because one person cannot invest or one group cannot invest in everything. So we are very happy to, in this session, we have three groups of we can say facilities represented by respective institutions. The first group is about prototyping, whether it is plastic or metal or electronics. The second group is about testing, again, whether it's mechanical testing, electronics testing, or biological testing. And the third group is about manufacturing, again, whether it's biological manufacturing or it is device manufacturing. So we will now be inviting the panelists one by one. What I'll be doing is I'll introduce each panelist, but and then they will show a couple of slides with pictures and devices. But before that, let me invite my co-moderator, Dr. Premnath, to add his own opening remarks.
Thank you, Professor Ravi. Am I audible as well?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. I don't want to say too much. I think waiting for all of us are waiting for the facilities to showcase their facilities and talk about what is possible now, thanks to all these new support that has come up. But I just wanted to highlight one other aspect, which is that the way India built out the pharma industry and also the vaccine industry, I think it's time for the medtech industry to be a global player. But while we have the great potential to be a global player in the same way as our generic pharma and our vaccine manufacturing industries, in the medtech space, I also hope our entrepreneurs and innovators try to lead the way in terms of innovative products which are of which basically have global standing also for their innovativeness in many ways. And these kind of facilities are going to be key for that, because facilities such as these are actually in many ways meant to reduce your cost of development, your risk-taking ability, and therefore encourage a lot more innovative activity. So I'm actually very keen to also see and hear from all the facilities and the users to see how we could actually build products for the global markets and be global players in this field as well. Today, I will speak more during the question answer session. So I just wanted to request that while these presentations are going on, the participants can please put down questions in the chat box, which I will try and compile, and we will take them up at the end after all the speakers have finished their discussion. So I'll try and homogenize and collect a few of these. So feel free to put them out in the chat box and I'll be tracking them along. So back to Professor Ravi, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Premnath. Great to have you as a co-moderator. So let me now start with Professor J. Ramkumar, who is from Mechanical Engineering of IIT Kanpur. And he is the coordinator for the Imagineering Lab and MedTech Lab. Primarily, they are doing a plastic and metal RP for the current context. Professor Ramkumar does a lot of other things also, but in the present context, He will be talking about how they are helping out the MedTech startups and other industry in prototyping medical devices. Mr. Ramkumar.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Ravi and Premnath ji. Thank you so much. Thank you to Bairak for giving us the facility. We at IIT Kanpur have named it as MedTech IIT Kanpur facility. Our prime focus is only on non-invasive prototyping facility. We are moving towards getting ISO 13485 certificate. IIT Kanpur has three strong points. One is the faculty member, two is the students, the third is the startup ecosystem we have. Basically today when a lot of people jump into making biomedical devices, I find one thing which is slightly missing with them is the basic science which has to be involved. We have a very strong faculty members group here. Depending upon the requirements of the startup company, we try to map and attach them with a faculty member. Students who help us in improving the prototype, whatever it is, and the startup ecosystem tries to guide the students for all the other facilities. When we talk about our USPs, we have three main USPs for us. The first USP is the CAD and CAM. So we try to take handhold the startup company right from the virtual stage. We try to work along with them, try to improvise their product, try to do optimization, simulation, and then try to take it forward for prototyping. In the meanwhile of their journey, if they find out that they would like to do state of the art, so then we also help them in doing reverse engineering of the existing part of whatever is available in the market, and try to identify what are all the differences they can make such that their product will be unique. Then we also have a metal 3D printer, which is first of its kind, using an FDM route. So basically here in this printer, we print through FDM, where the polymer has metal, and then we wash it, and then we sinter it. So you get 98% porous free compact surfaces. So this is a wonderful facility which is there. So we are trying to do work with doctors, and we are trying to help doctors in developing aid for their operation. So this is about our facility, whatever we have till now, and the website link we have given it at the bottom. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Predominantly, the next slide, whatever it is, talks about all the startup companies with whom we have already started working. And some of them are moving towards the final stage of prototype and then start producing it. The biggest success which we got during COVID was working with a company called eSpin. We developed masks. We helped them in developing alternative mask material, and these masks were tested. And even when it was gifted to PMO's office, and we were happy that Prime Minister also wore during one of his events which happened at Ayodhya. So it was so happy for us. The next one is the blind stick, which we have started working. So this blind stick is predominantly helping the blind person to manure himself within 6 meters inside a room. That's what was the other thing. The third one was the subglottic secretion device, so which was developed in collaboration with SGPGI, is the Lucknow. So what we have also introduced one more program to attract all the startup companies is we run something called as bio immersion program. We jointly do it with KGMU. We call the students, and then we ask the students to undergo 15-day or 20-day training. They move along with the doctors at KGMU, come back to IIT Kanpur, start working in our lab in developing a Jugaad prototype. From there, they move to innovative prototypes. We handhold them and get it done. So this is all about us, and we have been given the responsibility of catering to the needs of Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Himachal, and then Bihar, West Bengal, and Northeast states. We have already started connecting with almost all the states. We have few startups from each state who come and work with us. Over to you, sir, and thank you so much for the opportunity once again.
Thank you, Professor Ramkumar. That was very well described, your facilities, your impact. I'm very glad to see all these products coming up. May I also request all the other speakers to keep to the time, as Professor Ram Kumar has really done very nicely. So let me now invite Professor Akhtar Hussain, who is a Dean of Dental College at Yenapoya University, which is near Mangalore. And he is also the principal investigator of the MedTech design and RP facility at his university. Professor Akhtar Hussain.
Good evening. I'm very happy to be with such eminent people. And
a little louder, please. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Very, very low, I think. You'll have to come closer.
Hello. Can you hear me now? Better?
Dr. Premnath, is it
not clear?
Okay?
It's very faint.
Yeah, one moment, please. 1 moment. Is it okay now? Is it better?
Dr. Akhtar, you'll have to speak very loudly because it is barely audible.
Okay, now is it better? Can you hear me better
Slightly
now?
better. Just speak loudly and we should be okay.
Slightly better. Okay, this should help. Is it better?
Yeah,
okay,
please.
sorry, yeah. All right, I said good evening to all. I'm happy to be with such eminent people and for the opportunity that's given to me. As was told that I'm from Mangalore and we are from Yenapoya Deemed University, which is a reputed university with a NAC A grade with the 3.4 score and also 86th rank in the NIRF 2022. We have in our ambit medical, dental, physiotherapy, nursing, pharmacy, Ayurveda, homeopathy, naturopathy, and even engineering colleges, besides others. Basically, we are buzzing with the patients, with patient care activities. Besides, Mangalore itself is a very beautiful small coastal city, which is itself is a hub of education with large number of medical, dental, and engineering colleges. Hence, we have an opportunity to cater to these institutions as well. We have been primarily inspiring our students, our postgraduates, and staff into innovation through periodically conducting talks in creativity and lateral thinking, leading to innovations. We have brainstorming sessions on problems, and we want to change the mindset from knowledge users to knowledge producers. As I usually say, by the doctors, for the doctors. So we could actually conjure up pretty good innovations, and we have 55 patents to our credit and quite a few on the pipeline. Now we have established a MedTech design and rapid prototyping facilities with funding support with DBT, BIRAC, and NBM. The aim is to translate the ideas into innovations, into products which can reach the market to solve the healthcare problems. And some of the projects that we completed so far are quite innovative, like in novel physiotherapy, rehabilitation equipment, oral hygiene appliances, animal surgical table, modular dental trays, infusion bottles, AAA implant system to retract orthodontically teeth, then Max Gym to protract the defective or underdeveloped maxilla in cleft lip patients. So these are things that we have been doing. Hence, our main focus is medical device diagnosis and implants. We are also looking at, presently we are looking at artificial intelligence as it has a huge potential in healthcare, and we already started the projects on this as well. So coming to the facilities that we have industrial product design, 3D modeling and simulation facility equipped with advanced 3D scanner and high-end computing. We have mechanical fab lab facility equipped with 5-axis and 3-axis CNCs, water jet and laser cutter and mechanical workshop. We have 3D bioprinting, the clean room with cell culture. We have additive manufacturing, 3D printers for rapid prototyping with custom structural and functional parts made of metals, that is powder, resins, and thermoplastics. We also have ESDM and electronic prototyping, PCB layout fabrication, stencil component sourcing, automated PCB assembly, and electronic and prototyping. And also we have product validation, the clinical trials, validation, and piloting. And yeah, this is basically what we have. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Akhtar. Just a quick question to you was, so the main users are your own students, local startups, industry. That's a target, right?
Yes, and mainly we are promoting to, encouraging our students and also Mangalore at large. because we have connected with other colleges and universities around, and the students are coming from there too. And because of the COVID, it took a little time, and I'm hoping that very soon more and more people will be joining for startups, quite a few startups.
Thank you very much, Professor Akhtar. I think that was very nice, and very happy to know that it's in a corner like Bangalore, you are serving the local population. So thank you very much. Let me now invite Dr. Feroz Mustafa from the CCAM, which is Center for Cellular and Molecular Platforms, Bangalore. And he's in charge of the MedTech Rapid Prototyping Facility, which is mainly focusing on microfluidics for various applications. Dr. Feroz, over to you.
Thanks, Professor Ravi. Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Feroz from the NBM MedTech Rapid Prototyping Facility for Microfluidic Diagnostic
Again,
Devices.
slightly louder if possible.
Hi, I'm Feroz from NBM MedTech Rapid Prototyping Facility for Microfluidic Diagnostic Devices at CCAMP Bangalore. So CCAMP is an incubation center who has been working with BIRAC on the Biotech Ignition Grant as well as various other grants. Also involved in with the Karnataka government for some of the startup grants and as an incubator. So what we are aiming to set up is a one-stop solution for design to pilot scale fabrication of plastic microfluidic diagnostic devices. So before I go into the specific, I'll just give a short introduction to microfluidics. So microfluidics is basically using very small volumes of fluids, typically nanoliter to microliter, or sometimes even lower quantities, in channels which are about 10 to hundreds of microns in width to make measurements. So this has a lot of advantage, like you can make devices with small footprints, you use low volumes of samples and reagents, the analysis times are faster, and you can miniaturize laboratory-based procedures and automate it. This is especially useful for diagnostic. So that's where we are focusing on. So we started out providing PDMS microfluidic devices to researchers and startups. And now under the NBM grant, we have expanded to provide design, plastic fabrication, pilot scale fabrication, as well as LFA printing and packaging. So we have set up a CAD design laboratory with fluid flow simulations using SolidWorks. We also have Clevin for layout designs for PDMS and photolithography fabrication. So for the proof of concept fabrication, we can use micro CNC milling with feature size as small as 25 microns. And we also have 3D printing and laser cutting capabilities for larger feature sizes. And also for making things like small adapters and similar. For the prototyping per se, we provide vacuum casting and injection molding. And we can do pilot scale fabrication with the injection molding system. So apart from this, we also have lateral flow assay printing and packaging capabilities in a class 10,000 clean room with a class 1000 clean hood. All this we can do preliminary testing and quality control. We have set up a fast microscopy imaging setup. We have profilometry, and we also have electronic data acquisition systems and other simple electronic component testing. We are in the process of getting the ISO 13485 2016 certification, and we hope to achieve it by July this year. Apart from this, CCAMP also has other testing capabilities like confocal microscopy, mass spectroscopy, electron microscopy, etc., which are available on campus and can be accessed if necessary for the projects. So these are some of the projects that we have completed in the last year. We are very flexible with the kind of projects we undertake. And the first one that I am showing is actually not a microfluidic diagnostic device, but just happened that a startup associated with us required access to a laser cutter during lockdown, and we were able to provide access to it. So we did a batch of a few hundred face masks right during the middle of lockdown. Apart from that, we have provided PDMS devices as well as plastic microfluidic devices to a variety of startups as well as academic institutions. And what we aim for is people can walk in with an idea. We help them with their design and simulation. We can help them with the proof of concept fabrication. We can do the prototyping, and then we can do the pilot scale until the point they are ready to go to the market. We also have the testing capabilities attached to it. So in simple words, what we offer is designed to pilot scale for microfluidic device, plastic microfluidic devices under one roof. We are aiming for medical grade plastics like COC and polystyrene. But of course, if you require for other plastics, we are also open to it. You can get in touch with us through the email addresses and these websites mentioned here, or through these phone numbers. And lastly, thanks to NBM, BIRAC, and DBT for helping us set up the facility. Thanks a lot.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Firoz. I think it's perhaps a unique center which focuses on end-to-end design, prototyping, and testing also you mentioned for microfluidics. And microfluidics is, I think, something of the future, already in devices, but also I think we'll see more and more of these devices. And I think many institutions are actually focusing on testing in other devices using microfluidics.
Yes,
so this will go a long way. And thank you for sharing your information. Thank you. So now let me invite Mr. Vishwas Purundikar, who is an expert in electronics and telecommunications. He's from Netra Accelerator Foundation of Aurangabad, and he's also the director of the Marathwada MedTech Lab, which is focusing on wearable devices. Mr. Vishwas, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Is my voice clear?
Just about coming like a pipe kind of a thing. But go ahead.
Okay.
Come closer to the mic and go ahead.
Okay. So I hope I'll be a little louder, and that will help you get what I'm trying to communicate with the audience. See, I'm excited to be part of this forum and getting this opportunity to share about Marathwada MedTech Lab, a unique facility in Western region for rapid prototyping. And this is located at Aurangabad in Maharashtra state. So Aurangabad is a major industrial hub with automotive, electronics, and agriculture industry, and of course cultural heritage of Ellora and Ajanta caves. Our rapid prototyping facilities established is kind of industry academia partnership. So Netra Accelerator Foundation comes with an industry with Gramodhyogik Shikshan Mandal, which is an academic institute. They have engineering colleges at Aurangabad. So this brings us advantage on both a complete academic environment on the campus with faculties and students, and various labs, along with the rich industrial experience Netra brings along with that. So working with us, of course, will improve your time to products time to market, and this development cost is done at a prudent cost. So we are offering services to startups, to industries, entrepreneurs, and researchers to create a rapid prototyping facility as per their design is first thing, of course. And in addition, if those who want support in designing and modeling, we offer it with our design team, in-house design team, and also have advantage of connect with academia, and so that can be your extended development partners. We can definitely offload some of the development jobs to the academicians here. So our facility has 3 sections. So we focus on 3D printing, precision metal machining, and RPT for electronics, where PCBs can be made with surface mounted devices, soldering, and things like that. And a basic testing facility is possible here. So we have a team to support them. So if we consider this three sections, those are basically aligned with the local industry where it has a large manufacturing base also. So if you consider mechanical machining, precision machining, it has a large machining base, and a Marathwada Auto Cluster, which is a manufacturing cluster. There's a investment of course, Government of India. And we also have Devgiri Electronic Cluster, which is electronic manufacturing. So considering this electronics and mechanical manufacturing, we are here to support with rapid prototyping facility. This was a gap we identified and we established this. There's a large industry population. We are interfacing with them and working with incubation centers to develop products and models based on their requirement. So our team is working on basically external surgical models and device development. This is of course apart from what the customer or the startups come with the requirement. If you see some of those products that are available here on the slide too. So these are some of the products, those were developed during the COVID lockdown period. There was surge in demand for the medical hospitals and health assisted devices. So this was a remotely guided trolley developed at our end, which was used by local hospitals to deliver medicines to the patients and doctor could interact there. We can also see micro motors. These are BLDC motors developed by a local company. We also have surgical models and some innovative 3D models that we can see. So the advantage that definitely our facility can offer is one, of course, is ISO 105 will be complete by August 21, and we also have the 3D printers with biocompatible certified materials. So this will be a unique proposition to the MedTech devices startups who are interested in developing medical devices can take this advantage for their regulatory compliance will be easier, I hope, on that part. So additionally, the 3D printing facility that we have has a dental printer and the advantage is it is a large size built up can also be made. About 16 inches by 14 inches by 16 inches is the size that one can print. For people who are developing electronics prototyping, we also have meters which are electrostatic resistant materials, and also we have materials which are fire retardant. So a typical use, and of course there are other materials, a range of 13 materials, those are can be used. So that will be a definite advantage that we see that can be offered at our facility. If you have any requirement, please write to us and give us opportunity to work with. Thank you very much, and thank you, Professor Ravi. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Vishwas. The audio was not so great. You sounded as if you are from Moon or Mars, not Marathwada. But if you can fix your audio a little better before the question answer at the end, that will be great. Okay, just try if you can fix the audio. But thank you. But we could hear you, but it just sounded as if you are from a very long, far off distance, which you are, of course. Okay, so thank you. And let me go to now Dr. Jalil Akhtar. Back to IIT Kanpur again. But Dr. Jalil is from electrical engineering, and he heads the EMI EMC test facility, and they are offering that as per the IEC 60601 standard. Dr. Jalil, if you are there, can you go over?
Yeah, sure. Okay, great. So Ravi, thank you very much. Am I audible?
Loud and clear, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. So as Professor Ravi mentioned, I'm not from MedTech industry. Basically, we are from Department of Electrical Engineering in electromagnetic, RF and microwave specialization. Our research group is quite leading group in India as well as abroad. We specialize in the electromagnetics and electric components. This project is about to develop a facility for EMI testing of MedTech product. let me give some background. So as per international regulatory requirement, you are not allowed to sell any product in the market, including medical devices, unless you do or you conform to EMIMC testing as per IC standards. Problem is, in India, people are not aware of this. So, and now because we have a lot of startups coming up, I mean, every day with new medical devices, and because of they are not aware, so they think, oh, once you are done with the, I mean, prototype, that's fine. But that's only the beginning. I mean, as per international norm, you are not allowed to sell product at all, irrespective of the functionality, unless you conform to the standard. Now, why they're important now and why we're not earlier? Problem is that now all the medical, at least most of the medical devices, they are electrical or electronic products. They are like high-speed digital devices. As a thumb rule, any digital device having high clock frequency will give emissions, and the emission goes, and there are unwanted emission, and the emission goes higher and higher as the clock frequency goes up. And we know that, I mean, every day the clock frequency is going high. That's why it's very vital to check the emission of these devices. Number one. Number two, apart from this is what we call electromagnetic emission. Coming to electromagnetic compatibility. Now we know that we are living in a harsh environment. For example, even in a hospital, you can find Wi-Fi router, you can find 5G, 4G telephones, many other devices. So from that perspective, can you go to the previous slide, please? So from that perspective, if you see, so if you have let's say you have a ventilator, which is in ICU, is electronically controlled. If you don't test it, EMI-EMC conformity, what happens is that, if it is not immune to other emissions outside, then, even a minor disturbance might actually, degrade the performance, and sometimes, they may also be fatal to the person's health. That's why, I mean, especially for medical devices, it's very important to test them for EMI-EMC. At IIT Kanpur, we plan to develop under one roof the facility for both EMI-EMC and electrical safety testing. So we are basically, if you see there, we plan to develop a 3-meter semi-anechoic chamber. So it will be suitable for all types of medical devices. The good part of IIT Kanpur is that we have the expertise, because EMI-EMC is something which is very vast field. It needs expertise in electromagnetic theory, on antennas, on high voltage. And fortunately, we have the privilege of having faculty in all the fields. So even if, if someone comes with some unknown solution, I mean, we are able to give them also the customized solution. That's the beauty. The thing will be fully accredited. That means that once the device is tested here, the product can be sold internationally in all parts of the world without any problem. That's the major thing which we want to have in this. And any testing of EMI-EMC, there are two types: pre-compliance and full compliance. Means that before you go and finish your design, you can check whether your device is likely to give any problem from an EMI perspective. That's called pre-compliance testing. That is somewhat cheaper, because then after this, the user, the device manufacturer can go back and try to improve the design so that, like, in the final compliance test, it conforms to that particular thing. That is, we will take care of. And you can see there are standards. So IEC standard we followed. This is as per international for all kind of medical devices. Apart from EMI-EMC, we also plan to do all kind of tests, like safety tests, IEC 61601, 1010, electrostatic, immunity. So all the kind of tests, they will be performed under one roof. Of course, if you see there, the major problem is, apart from the people not being aware, they are quite expensive. So our plan is that at least we try to do this at something which is affordable, so the startups who don't have enough budget, they can also come and they can get the thing tested. And also, if we help the academia. Apart from this, we have been also conducting workshops for professionals, and for example, in the past, even people who have the lab, they have come to our workshop and they were quite happy that at least they are aware of something which they didn't know in the past. So this is also a very key aspect, being an academic institute, to give the exposure and to let the people know that EMI/EMC is something which is very important. And if you are not conforming to this, you are not, you are not allowed to sell your product at all. And basically, we plan to, our major clients would be startups, as well, some small hospitals, because, even sometimes medical doctors, they, as a rule, they should do their, get their things EMI tested on a regular basis. So, we will have some arrangement so that even these small hospitals, they can come there and they can try to get their test at affordable price in the one roof. And lastly, we also will be there to assist any of the clients if they have any difficulty to understand, or for example, now any PCB design, if they sometimes they don't know the problem, and the problem is because of the EMI/EMC. That means there are many things coming under 2 crores, and they are not able to figure out that this is because of one crore going to other part, and they are also, it affects the device functionality. So this is something we will try to take care. Okay, so I think this is what I would have to finish here. If any question is there, we can always come up at the end. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Jalil. Even I have questions, but we'll keep it to the end because we are slightly running behind schedule.
Yeah, sure.
I would request also the speakers to try and see what unique facilities they have in case other speakers already have spoken about. So let me now invite Mr. Milind Joshi, and who is a scientist F in Samir, which is a strategic institute in Mumbai, in fact in IIT Mumbai campus itself, although they are a separate institution. And he also is associated with the EMI/EMC division of Samir. Mr. Milind, would you like to share what special facilities you have got and what you have been doing? And what services you offer actually?
Thank you, Professor Ravi and Professor Premnath Ji. I hope I'm audible, loud and clear.
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening to one and all. My job actually is made simple by Professor Jalil Akhtar, because the facilities what he has described and he has described about EMI/EMC, I was going to talk about the same thing. However, the difference between IIT Kanpur facilities are they have started. I don't know when they have started. Their facilities are seems to be quite new, whereas we are in the field of electromagnetics EMI/EMC for past more than 20 to 25 years. Samir, as you know, is a premier research organization, R&D organization under Ministry of Information Technology, working in the field of RF microwave EMI/EMC, linear accelerator and photonics. Samir happens to be amongst first few organizations who have started working in the field of EMI/EMC compliance testing. We started our EMI/EMC related test activities way back in 1984 at Samir Center for Electromagnetics, and later expanded them at Mumbai, Kolkata, Visakhapatnam, and intend to expand to few other cities as well. All our facilities are duly accredited by NABL as per ISO 17025 for past 12 to 15 years now. Samir provides accredited test services and supports Indian industry for the compliance testing of their products in the field of EMI/EMC as per various international standards, as per requirement of the particular product family or product specific standard or product family standard. Of late, in order to provide all the compliance tests under one roof required for medical devices, though it is not our area, means safety testing. Actually, we are into the RF microwave radars and all those things. Safety testing was not included as part of our test services. But of late, looking at the need, we have decided to add this safety test facility so that the users can have all the test facilities under one roof. Actually, we at present we already have a few safety test facilities, because there is a government guideline, as mentioned by Professor Jalil, that 50 products have been covered under this SD test, to name few. And in safety test facilities, we have vibration test facilities, temperature cycling facility, glow wire, clippage distance, leakage current testing, voltage breakdown testing, etc., to name a few. We intend to cover complete compliance tests for small medical devices like defibrillator, patient monitor or vital sign simulator, incubators, electrosurgical machines, ventilators, and RF diathermy machines. We also help manufacturers in the pre-compliance test of their products, so that after going into the test laboratory, because testing charges are very high, their products should not fail in the compliance testing, actual compliance testing. So we help them design EMI EMC wise their products so that they will comply. And one more thing regarding our test facilities, currently there are few universities and few IITs who have started giving courses in EMI EMC, but EMI EMC was not part of the regular engineering curricula. And the fresh engineer or even the experienced engineers coming out of the universities, they are not aware of the EMI EMC test compliances, requirements, etc. So we conduct regular 1 day, 2 day courses for them, and we try to bring awareness among the fraternity. I think that's all from my side. If there are any questions.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Milind. Let me now invite Dr. Ramamurthy, who is a toxicology expert. Essentially, I think they are doing biological testing using swine model. He is from Palamur Bioscience Private Limited, Hyderabad. So this is among the panelists that we have. We have a couple of those who represent the industry as well, and Palamur is one of those which represents the industry. So Dr. Ramamurthy, if you're there, and let's keep it a little brief, because we were hoping to have a discussion at the end, but now we are kind of eating up that time. So can you kind of focus on your facilities and your clients and examples of that? Please.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much for NBM. We Palamur Bioscience, we are basically a biological testing laboratory. We are located nearby the Hyderabad airport, from down the line around 1 hour from Hyderabad airport now. We are basically undertaking animal testing studies, toxicology studies, safety assessment, and exploratory studies, and plus some basic research studies also we are taking by using various range of animals. Our main studies are taking studies for regulatory submissions. We used to undertake a lot of products, various segments of industries like agrochemicals and recent third-party commercial CRO now. It's a contract research organization now. We have various ranges of animals with us, large animals now. We too have beagle dog production facilities in our research facility. We are the one facility we are having the approval for the Government of India for productions of beagle dogs. We are having at any time for 600 dogs now. And also we are having other ranges of large animals like farm pigs we are having. Mini pigs recently we are imported from Denmark now. We have goat also we are having, swine, sheep also we are having. So we used to do for all the studies using the large animals. So one of the main long-term mission was to establish medical device testing facility at our center for the using large animals now. So thanks to NBM now, that dream was fulfilled, and we got around 2018 June for this grant now. Very rapidly now established large animal medical device testing facility at our institute now. It's full-fledged operating right now. We have the required accreditations like a good laboratory, GLP, which is required mandatory for if you do something, any studies which can directly submit the reports, safety reports or toxicology reports globally. We have a couple of reports we have already completed studies, device studies, which have already submitted in US FDA also. We're also working on a couple of products also with other companies, medical device companies. We too have NABL also we too have, and we too have CIDESCO. CIDESCO, which is we are recently accredited for the 6-month back, which is mandatory for if you want to undertake any medical device testing using the large animals now. So this is one of the unique our specifications. We have all the range of larger animal facility, large animals we have. All the device testings we are doing with our facilities. I'm just asking my director for medical device testing facilities so he can add for what are the specific tests which we are, services which we are offering now, so that it will be easy for the companies, which those who want to approach us for that, their device testing now. Dr. Sharma, please.
Very good afternoon to all the panel members. I'm Dr. Sharma here, a veterinarian by training and taking care of the medical testing facility here. So as Dr. Ram said, that we have developed this facility together with NPM or BIRAC to facilitate the medical device testing as per the regulatory guidelines. So we have already finished 3 FDA PMA enabling studies. This is pre-market approval studies for the medical devices, and 6 non-GLP studies. Those are exploratory R&D safety and performance evaluation of the medical devices in large animals. Large animals, when I say it is in porcine models as well as in sheep and goat. So biocompatibility studies that we do have regularly done here, and also in the rabbits we do. So these are the number of studies that we have already done, and few studies are in pipeline under discussion phase, and those would be furnished in the upcoming, one year's time. And our clients are up to 1 month studies. And occluder devices, these are very highly invasive cardiothoracic surgeries, and some of the studies are under discussion for the venous stents. We've also finished one exploratory study for Viranchi Hospital for the dialysis replacement equipment. And we are under discussion with S3V Vascular Technologies for BRS or BRS stent, a magnesium stent. In private, international, we have already finished projects for Copper Company USA, Saudi Mize UAE, Medisafe Technologies Indonesia for biocompatibility studies. These are basically the implant studies. And we are in discussion with a Swiss company called Novastia for the mitral valve studies that they have already done, and we'll be doing their histopathology study under our histopathology lab. In public sector, as our site is already updated for the BIRAC or DBT fundees to have the concessional rates to test their products. And we are already working with some public institutions like Share India, which is working with the American universities under the Artificial Heart Program. And we would be helping in Make in India ECMO pumps and bilateral ventricular assisted devices. So these all activities are going on. We've also worked with Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham for the bone implant study. And we are already working with IIT Chennai for the prototype of the blood pressure measurement device. And that's also in a large animal pig model. So these are all services that we have. Our basic aim was to provide the clients or the medical device manufacturers or innovators a one-stop solution to get conducted their studies, exploratory as well as regulatory, in one place under one roof. So we have in vitro department also to do their biocompatibility in vitro testing. We have in vivo all the testing facilities here, right from the biocompatibility in small animals, and then safety and efficacy studies or safety or performance evaluation studies in large animals. And we've got all the major equipment that are needed to run these studies. And we follow all the ISO guidelines under the scope of the OECD GLP compliance. That's all we have from our side. We're open to have questions.
Yeah, thank you, Palamur team. Unfortunately, we are leaving very little time for questions, so I'll keep moving ahead to now Dr. Shishir Munapalli, who is a molecular virology expert, and he's from Huel Life Sciences. Not to be confused, I think that is Human Wellness, and not to be confused with some other company which is sounding very similar. They manufacture high quality enzymes and primers and other stuff for various kinds of test kits. Dr. Shishir, you are there?
Yeah. So I'll keep it short. Thanks, Professor Ravi, and thanks, Dr. Haldi, for giving the opportunity. So we are pretty late entrant into these facilities, what we have actually. In this COVID time, we actually found out many of the imports were restricted and we didn't have much availability of primers and probes, which are essential components of RT-PCR kits. So we actually requested NBM to facilitate primer probe synthesis in country. Earlier, it is only synthesized by a couple of them in country, and one is MNC and other is located in east of country, and where chemicals were not available and everybody was importing primers and probes. And thanks to NVM for giving us a facility of synthesizing primers and probes in country. We do have a synthesizer which can cater from 25 nanomole to 5 micromole capacity of probes and primers. And we have both analytical and preparative HPLC, so which we can supply in the dry down format. So, and we also produce in the next slide. So we also have high quality enzymes produced at our end. We supply dry down format. If you can go to the next slide, please. Okay. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah, it's actually, we have lyophilized formats. We also synthesize, make enzymes as well. We make all enzymes related to molecular biology. We make BSC polymerase, we make hot stack track polymerase, we make thermostable RT and other related enzymes which are used for multiplexing assays. So you can reach us for enzymes and also to formulate your own assays in any which way we can be helpful in associating with this in lyophilization format. We can make dry down format. We are already successful at our end with our kits. So we essentially supply molecular diagnostic kits. So we are successful in that, any collaborative in that perspective. But in oligosynthesis, we have made a separate vertical so that we actually directly cater to the end user with different probes. Right now, we have established FAM, HEX, and SciFi. Currently, nobody makes in country. And we have highest purity of primers and probes, which have been tested and incorporated in a multiplex assay. And we are ready to take orders for oligos. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Dr. Shashir. I think what you're seeing in this session is fantastic range of facilities, right from prototyping, mechanical, electronics, and then the previous team, Palamu, talked about animal testing, very critical, I would say very important valley of death. And now you're talking about manufacturing of enzymes and primers and all those things. So it's, I think we have this, it's very high, I think, amount of, I would say, confidence and comfort level for innovators in the country. Thank you very much, all of you. But let me now call upon our last panelist, Mr. Dilip Kumar, who represents Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone, or AMTZ. He himself is a biomedical technologist and is also the additional director of Director Technical of MediValley Incubator. But I would like him to focus on the manufacturing side, because I think this is, to my knowledge, the only facility in the country where you can, startups to scale-ups can happen. They can set up their entire plug-and-play manufacturing and use the facilities at AMTZ. But more from Mr. Dilip.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Ravi. Namaste and good evening all. As you see, the AMTZ MedTech ecosystem, the highlights and the USP is the pre-built manufacturing units, which, you know, from 0.25 to 2 acres, we have a built-up space, you know, and clean rooms, ETP. So any manufacturer, according to their need, just come and plug and play and use the manufacturing units. And AMTZ also supports with plant and machinery, which is a capital investment with the support of DBT under NBM. Recently during the pandemic, we able to cater the country need for scale up the production for ventilators and COVID diagnostic kits and N95 and medical textile, medical gowns and surgical masks. So so it all happened because at a short time because of the support from NBM, which we supported the manufacturer with this capital investment machineries like assembly lines, laser welding machines, and CNC turning machine, which help them to manufacture or do the production of ventilators at affordable price, and cater the need of country during this pandemic. So apart from this pre-built manufacturing units, we do have space for startups under MediValley and BioValley, which is under the BioNest scheme with the support from AMTZ and BIRAC. We do provide the office space for startups. So at the prototyping stage, they have the access to our pre-compliance labs, and they can test the device at their prototype stage to reduce the cost or do any modification according to the output of the test results. That is there, and we do have other state-of-art common scientific facilities like biomaterial testing, EMI, EMC, and gamma irradiation facility. So in short, I would like to say, for any medical device manufacturer or startup or innovator, this is the place where we can, meet their needs and, help them to build indigenous products at affordable cost. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Dilip Kumar. Very well presented, and definitely it's an ecosystem by itself. And I was mentioning a plug and play for anyone who wants to either scale up or maybe startup or even an existing industry who want to add an additional line of production and so on. Thank you very much, all the panelists. I think we have saved about now a little over 15 minutes for the final discussions. May I request my co-moderator, Dr. Premnath, to take over and see if any questions are there, or he can have maybe add his own questions to the forum.
Sure. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, the audience is not able to put down questions and send it to us, but I thought I'll put down some questions for the participants, and they can take it up, and I'll request them to give me brief answers, please. It was actually very interesting to see the whole range of facilities. So if you take, for example, just as an example, a product which is an implant, for example, you could see that there were quite a lot of prototyping and design capabilities in IIT Kanpur, Yenapoya University facilities, CCamp, and also the Netra Accelerator Foundation. Following that, a lot of animal testing facilities, places like Palamur and so on, and then finally manufacturing facilities in AMTZ, for example. So covering a very wide range of possible facilities. I do know that there are sort of differential terms for small companies and Indian startups and also BIRAC supported projects and so on and so forth. I wanted to request a few of you to tell us very briefly what are the models of engagement, and how do you make it feasible for small companies to engage and to use some of these facilities. So I'll just request first, I'll request Firoz to kindly talk a little bit about their model, and then I'll come back to Dr. Ramamurthy, please. Yeah.
Thanks, Dr. Premnath.
Yeah.
So basically, our model is we are still on the service fee based model. So there are two ways of accessing us, and any startup who's incubated in CCamp anyway has a direct walk-in access to the facility. Anyone who's not in CCamp or even in Bangalore can raise a request and then come in through the portal. And we have a highly subsidized rates for the startups and academics who are interested in starting up. in the sense that we are at a almost at the basic cost recovery model. So this is also it is the cost of the machine has been subsidized by NBM, BIRAC and DBT. So that is not recovered at all. So it's a very it's much cheaper than going into the market.
Sure.
And,
What about, do you list it? Are these listed services, or should people connect with you and then understand what is needed and then figure out the broad structure of terms?
So yeah, so we have the services listed, but apart from that, we encourage the users to connect with us so we know if the listed services are enough or if there is any background services which need to be done. We also make sure that we can connect the users to other facilities or even researchers in case they require some of these helps.
Okay, great. Can I request Dr. Ramamurthy to please comment on one first point being how do you offer services at differential terms to small companies and BIRAC grantees and so on to make it affordable? And the second is also if you can just point to one or two unique aspects of Palamore's services compared to, say, for example, other toxicology or animal testing facilities.
Yeah, thank you, sir. As for this, rate concern, whatever this tariff now, we have already agreed during this NBM grant itself now, we will provide 50% of whatever the charges which we are charging for other commercial. Since we are a commercial organization, which are agreed with the NBM, whatever the tariff which we are already uploaded into our website, we will give 50% of discount now. We are already working with some of the startup companies, a lot of companies, we are given 50% discount now. And on top, coming to the services now, we are already uploaded into our, what are the services which are offering right now. It's not limited to that particular services now. If they can connect to us, we can able to suggest some more testing or survey. What type of functional devices, say functional studies or safety studies required. What are the studies required, we'll discuss with them. We are ready to just help them out. The BIRAC grant is now. Our team is ready for, technical team is always open now for the discussion. And
Sure. And also unique facilities if you wanted to comment. Can I request others to go on mute, please? Yeah, Dr. Ramamurthy, any specific unique facilities you want to point?
Sir, actually, this is one facility where we can do all the cardiac implant studies. And as you know that we have unique instruments also. Let's say all the hospitals, they have only interventional radiography machines. But our facility is facilitated with the IVAS OCT machines to have a very high-end implantation of the cardiac stents. We have ICUs for the animals to be monitored after they have been implanted with these invasive implants in the chest cavity. So this is a uniqueness which you would not find throughout India anywhere. There's only one facility, but facility-wise, as BIRAC has funded us with, to have all these good equipments, state-of-art equipments from Philips, Boston, St. Jude, the uniqueness that we can provide these high-end,
okay,
facilities.
thank you. Thanks a lot. I'll request Dilip to kindly comment on how, say, a startup which is located elsewhere and has gone through early regulatory processes and approvals, how do they say set up a facility in a facility such as yours? And if there are certain shared facilities, how do they get regulatory approvals to use those? Do they come as loan license facilities? How does it work in AMTZ? And also, what are the terms? And typically, you also must be offering concessional terms for some of the smaller startups and grantees, right? BIRAC grantees.
Yeah. So for startup, we do have this incubation hub at AMTZ where we provide the space according to their need. And right from their idea, we help them in testing and validation. the license, as you said, as per the regulation or regulatory body, which is CDSCO, we do the hand holding, and we help them to apply for a factory license if once their prototype is ready. If they are going for a mass scale production, we shift them to a manufacturing unit where they individually apply, and we help them or facilitate them to assist in filling the factory license if it is in any categories you have according to the environmental clearance. So we do hand holding and apply for the licenses on their behalf. We do that.
Yeah, how does it work for shared manufacturing facilities? How do they show it in their regulatory approvals? Because is it a loan license facility that they will use, or everything has to be located in their facility?
So the manufacturing facility is not shared. Only the facilities shared are common scientific facilities like testing facilities like biomaterial, EMI, EMC. But for manufacturing unit, during the time of mass scale production, they have their own manufacturing unit on their own name.
Okay, great. I wanted to shift the focus a little bit. I'll request others to speak on this topic. I wanted to understand how some of you also manage issues such as know-how, IP, and so on and so forth, especially if you also are part of an organization that's a technology development organization. So I wanted to ask Dr. Ram Kumar and Professor Akhtar Hussain first to explain how do you manage IP and know-how between, say, the startups and your own activity within your own organization. So, Professor Ram Kumar, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it's a wonderful question. A lot of our startups here are little hesitant to join with us. So as soon as they land up in our premises, we have three things here. We sign an NDA. And then we maintain that NDA. So whatever idea they come, we try to protect it, and then we also make sure our staff members who work on it does not reveal it out. As soon as the project is completed, in front of them, we completely clean the drive, give them in a CD or in a thumb drive, and then clean the project. So we try to maintain the NDA very strongly, because a lot of technical things which we do, they say that, sir, please don't reveal it outside. So NDA will be the first thing we sign. And if in case they feel that we are capable for worth of our involvement in the project, then we also in our institute have an IPR policy. So we share the IPR with the startup as well as with us, and then we close the deal. So
okay,
both the things at the upfront we do it, sir.
Yeah. In the event that one of your faculty members contributes to the technology development activity, how do you deal with that? And can I request you to put your video on if you can? While you're speaking, please. Yeah, thank you.
So, sir, generally what happens, moment there is a challenging project. So, for example, we are now trying to talk about vein detector. So, vein detector is something which a lot of people have been used, but it is light involved concept there. So one of our faculty member, Professor Harshavardha Varnare, who's an expert in light, he was involved in the project. So when he was involved, we tried to ask the startup company what will be the share which you want to share it with the faculty member and the IPR. Mm-hmm. So at the end, they decide and then they come out. And when the faculty is involved, he also signs an NDA.
Okay. Are there any instances where there can be conflict of interest between two projects, and how do you deal with that? You're dealing with two projects of similar kind?
Correct. So generally what we do is we try to avoid, because we are not such a robust system to handle two similar projects together. We push the priority to the third or fourth and finish the first project and then take up the next one, sir. We go step by step, and till now we have not faced such a situation when two similar products are getting developed in our prototyping facility. But whoever enters inside, first we sign the NDA, and we also, when the faculty is involved, he also becomes part of that NDA.
Sure, thank you. Professor Akhtar Hussain, do you also want to comment? You have a very strong program in, I think, maxillofacial implants and so on and so forth in your university as well, in your dental colleges and so on. How do you manage the interface with startups working on the similar kind of domains?
We have our own IPM cell. We have our own startup cell also. Then what we do is we bring people from different specialty, from different expertise to help whenever we require. And in-house, we cover the cost. And for outsiders, we charge a minimum so that, that's how we manage.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And are there ways by which they can leverage, startups can leverage your medical college and dental college in an official way? And how, while leveraging your facility, how do they do that? And what's the best practice over there?
The university support is also there. We have got very good university support and seed grant and things like that for the university side to initiate interest in them. Plus, even in also, there is support from the university side.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have to spend so much, and the university takes care of it.
Okay.
So that to encourage the patents.
Let me move further. The other line of question which I wanted to bring up was about expertise. Many of these advanced facilities very often have a strong expertise needs, right? I wanted to ask, especially somebody like Vishwas Kurundkar, how do they bring in the expertise needed for specialized prototyping needs? It might be that you may not be able to have everything internal to your facility or incubator or your institute, right?
Yes. See, for the designs that customer brings in and gives a drawing, that simple process is, okay, we have an NDA and our rates are fixed and we simply make based on their design, we complete the project. So machining, we have in-house mechanical designer with a reasonable experience and an electronics design engineer. But for medical domain expertise, we connect with those experts on the panel that we have. Of course, they are not in Aurangabad. Some of them are at Pune. And as a domain expertise, there are doctors on our panel who support on those particular domains. So on mechanical, see, one example we can take for the complex machining with a geometrical shape. So those that expertise we have, and Aurangabad as a manufacturing hub has that. But when it comes to the product development, we have faced challenges, and we have involved the expert with whom we have a kind of tripartite NDA signed along with that requirement.
Okay,
so,
thank you. Thank you very much. In fact, sorry, I've not been able to reach out to everybody, but I've got the red signal. We are running out of time. So I'll give it back to Professor Ravi Rao for some closing remarks. If any of you have any burning points to make at the end, please just message me and I can try and cover it. But Professor Ravi, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Premnath. I don't think anyone could have done better than that. I think you did raise all the pertinent questions which a potential client of these facilities might have asked, whether it is conflict of interest or cost or IPR, NDA, things like that. So I think very well answered. I think the session has been very good in my opinion, in terms of highlighting the facilities as well as the challenges. But I think together, I think we are making good progress in the country to support MedTech innovators in general. So I will not take any more time except to thank everyone here. By name, I would like to thank in the same sequence Dr. Professor Ramkumar, Professor Akhtar Hussain, Professor Dr. Firoz Mustafa, Mr. Vishwas Kurundkar, Jalil Akhtar, Mr. Milind Joshi, Dr. Ramurthy, Shashir Munnapalli, Mr. Dilip Kumar, and last but not the least, Dr. Premnath for excellent support to the entire session. And before I complete, may I turn it back to both Dr. Kalaivani and of course the other organizers here. Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure interacting with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I was wondering whether Dr. Hardeep is there or not. Okay. Yes.
Hardeep, you're on mute. Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Dr. Kalevani, any final remarks from your side, please?
No, very well conducted meeting by both of them. So very happy to know so many good things happening. And as I said in the beginning, we are ready to support you with whatever is required for making this industry a very successful indigenous industry in the country. Yeah,
Thank you, Dr. Karavani. So with this, I would like to make a couple of lines of closing remarks before we close the session. Or to all the users and all the startups and SMEs who are listening on this conversation, you can find the details of all these facilities on the website of the National Biopharma Mission on BIRAC. From there, you can contact all the companies for whatever your service requirements may be. And if you are not able to connect, we would be happy to connect it through the NBM Mission Secretariat itself. As a final closing remark, I would like to extend my warm thank you to Dr. Premnath and Professor Ravi for taking time out of their busy schedules to moderate this session in such a beautiful manner. I hope, and I'm sure rather, that the information that has come out through your interaction with all the 9 facility representatives will be very useful to all the startups and SMEs working in the medical device sector. And we will actually see a fruitful outcome of all the investments and the hard work that have been put in by the DBT to enhance this sector in the country. So thank you very much from our side, and hope to see you all very soon physically in person.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Hardeep.
Thank you. Thank you very much.